Nada para nadie en Estados Unidos, van a ser las 11 de la noche en la costa este. George Bush aventaja por 40 votos.
Pero el equipo de San Diego está en pretemporada.
2 meses y medio de no jugar un partido oficial.
No puede ser que te pase por arriba.
60 minutos echado hacia atrás, 60 minutos 90, regalándole la iniciativa por completa al SanDiego FC.
A partir del lunes 13, abrázame muy fuerte en su nuevo horario, a las 9.
Es que ahorita San Diego, un equipo que venía de 2 meses sin tener un partido oficial, pero
a mí me llama la atención lo que declara, por ejemplo, después del partido contra San Diego, que le gustó mucho su equipo 60 o 65 minutos, sí, pero cuando te comes 4...
Sandals and shorts, and surf, and scuba, and sand, and sailing, and soccer. San Diego, California.
For the 315th consecutive week in a row, we are back here on a Monday. Chiva, Tony, and Darren Smith. Welcome back, neighbor. How are you?
Congratulations. I'm great. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
No, absolutely. We're going to go ahead and get today's started. It's going to be San Diego FC centric, goals, gaps, and greats. San Diego FC related. We're going to talk about Pumas, the sound that came out. Mexico is losing it because they think Efrain Juarez is the worst manager of all time, or at least the best manager for 60 minutes. And we're going to see what it means for the Concacaf Champions matchup coming up tomorrow in Ciudad Universitaria, 4-1, the Global currently right now. We're going to go ahead and just get things started here with, just welcoming everybody in. Thank you for everybody who joins live on YouTube, Instagram, and anywhere else. We're back on a Monday. We're going to welcome in also here in a bit, Abe Cepeda. We're just going to wait real quick for that. But let's get it started. Darren, it's been a while. How are you?
It has.
Yeah.
I'm good. Thank you for the invite. I have to say, for those curious about my hat selection, I live about 9 minutes from here. I texted, so I can stick my head out of the window and see what's going on outside. And I texted Tony, and I remember from my last visit, it was not a climate controlled environment. And I texted and said, will it be cold in the garage tonight? And you responded, yes, it will be, exclamation point. With the exclamation point. I'm like,
scary. Enthusiastic.
He's enthusiastically telling me that it's going to be an ice box in here. So I said, don't really feel like doing the hair. So I think I will go with this alpaca hat.
It looks great.
So just in case anybody's curious about that.
No, it's okay. The temperature will drop here in this Southern California garage.
Now I feel like I'm sweaty and I'm like my face is shiny and all sorts, but I'm not saying you misled me. I'm not so sure. You're wearing shorts and a short sleeve shirt. So
yeah,
I'm not sure.
Tony does
with
not get cold
hot
anymore.
coffee. With hot coffee. All right, that warms up the insides. Well, neighbor, we're here in the.
We are.
You now have the most Southwesternly podcast. I mean, we're arguing about this.
I call this unity.
Yeah, it is. It is unprecedented unity. I don't know about us having the most Southwesterly podcast since we have the push a pause button. We are not as organized as this outstanding podcast. So yes, we're having a little bit of a hiatus. We'll see what the future holds. Stay tuned, I suppose. A little bit of a tease, but yes. You guys still, how many weeks? How many what?
315.
Gosh, dang.
Yeah, dude.
We're starting our talks of what it looks like.
Good job.
Cup, so
I was wondering that too. Now that the mission's accomplished and you guys got credentialed for the World Cup, what happens afterwards?
There's talks that we've had, and
you're the ones that has the secret sauce. I'm just going to keep going. I'm a maniac. I've enjoyed this. Yeah,
every Monday night. Congrats.
It's an absolute privilege, and thank you.
Not many people can say that.
Yeah, we've seen people come and go, and the thing is, like, it's still fun at the end of the day. Like seeing people out at Snapdragon, seeing people out at Wave games, and being able to be in the circles to ask these questions. And honestly, like we just take it as this is the information soccer wise that needs to be out in the ether, whether it's us, whether it's somebody else, whether it's in English, whether it's in Spanish, and whatever it is. soccer in San Diego needs to be talked about because it's pretty darn good.
And it's getting better. It's getting bigger. And I mean, San Diego FC playing in preseason mode is still kicking ass. So
that was an amazing open. Just to hear that all in succession from the absolute panic attacks, the filling of the diapers of what happened after Tuesday. And you're right. I mean, how much bigger is it getting? We have the Olympics coming to San Diego in 2028. So, and it is getting bigger and feels like it's a lot of fun to be a part of it. So always appreciate the invite from you too. Appreciate you.
And it's always going to be here. And at the end of the day, this is something that is gotten exponentially much bigger because of San Diego FC and everything that they did all of last season. So, I mean, you were very close to everything that happened last season with the club. What is that just kind of experience like for you, and just, your take on being literally there, creating a lot of the content, creating a lot of the questions, and just how was it for you, man?
It was fun. It was a lot of fun, especially for me at this stage of my life, not just of my career, but of my life, to be that close to a team, to be part of it, feel like you're part of something, was a lot of fun. And they obviously made it very enjoyable to be around it in season number 1 because of the success. But getting an opportunity to call games, which is not something that I have done much of, certainly not over the last 20 years, but the way that I actually started in this business when I was in college, thinking that this is exactly what the pathway was going to be for me. That was a ton of fun. Getting a chance to work with Adrian was incredible. Warren Barton, incredible. These are just really solid people. Getting a chance to be close to the club on a regular basis, to interact with different players, to learn a little bit about. That was my favorite part of doing talk radio for all the years, is getting close to the players, to be able to tell their stories, and to be able to tell some of these stories, whether it was during the game broadcast or in the midweek show, during the Behind the Flow award-nominated podcast.
It is.
Behind the Flow. Thank you. That was just a lot of fun. Like, it was just fun to bring some of that to life, especially while everybody was just developing a rhythm and a routine to this thing, which was so new, right? So this thing that we never had before. And that was my favorite part from Loyal. That was my favorite part from talk radio, whether it was Padres or whomever. So to be able to do that and do it for the sport and to do it here in the city was special. It really was. It was a blast. And it just, for me personally, it came at the absolute right time for me in my life, because I needed something different than being in the studio for 3 hours a day or 4 hours a day. So it provided me that. And I definitely appreciate it. It was really, the right time, the right situation. And, I loved pretty much every last second of it.
No, incredible stuff. I mean, I remember, I think the first game that you called, and it was Darren led. I went outside the stadium and you could just hear your voice, and I sent you that. And I was like, that's just cool, dude. Like, that's just such a cool thing to just have you as the voice of the stadium as the game is happening. It must have been a fantastic experience for you, man.
Hey, man, it got you a nomination for SanDiego.Futbol's play-by-play of the year.
Well, yes, I should not have been on that list. I appreciated it. I voted for Adrian, full disclosure. But you're right. And I also felt like that was, for me, not to say that you fall into this routine or rhythm of just doing sports radio shows, but, it was something that I can do. I took a lot of pride in it all the way up until the very last show that I did. But, to do something that was a new challenge, it does get the blood flowing in a way that's just a little bit different, right? So, like, we've all collaborated on different concepts and different ideas, and some of those things, it just feels a little different. It's just like you said, 300 plus weeks of doing this. You guys probably can do this in your sleep. I know, you put a lot of effort into it and you have a lot of pride in your work, but when you get the opportunity to do something, whether it's soccer or whatever, it is just it's just the heart beats a little bit differently. And, that feeling of preparing and knowing and watching and looking at the clock and realizing what it's like when it's counting down and you're watching people fill in the Snapdragon Stadium. Like, it's just, there's an excitement to it that you just cannot get respectfully inside of a studio. Like the studio life gave me everything that I have, and I will never talk badly about it. But, it just was, to be that close and to, even to see some of the stuff and get a chance to chat with some of the people and learn a little bit about them and hopefully share that with people in San Diego so that they felt a different level of connection with some of the players was truly like it was just a great thing. And I hope people enjoyed it half as much as I did.
What was a storyline, and now kind of transitioning into this season too, that you kind of followed, maybe didn't get as much traction, or something that you yourself enjoyed that is now going to bleed into season 2 that you're kind of looking at?
I think the youngins, you know, finding out like who Luca Bombino is and learning some of their stories. You know, it's funny. I know we'll talk about. I think we'll talk about the Unity event kit reveal.
Unprecedented.
And, you know, getting a chance, I saw Alejandro Alvarado there, you know, who was a guy who I started chatting with a little bit around the complex. And I loved learning his story. And unfortunately, he gets this injury. And I saw, and I was like, hey, you cut like when? And we started talking a little bit. So like those young guys, him, Luca, Manu Duah, some of those young guys, just like, where were you a year ago? What were you doing? Like you were not on the radar at all for anybody. Nobody could have predicted such a thing. You know, during the playoffs, I remember looking up like Manu Duah was preparing for NCAA tournament game, and now he's preparing for Minnesota United a year later. Same thing for Ian Pilcher. Luca Bombino was you know, in MLS Next Pro with LAFC, watching his team compete. So I like a lot of that. You know, there was a lot to like there with some of those storylines. Obviously, you know, a player like Aníbal Godoy, I thought was just a blast to be around. So much fun, so much energy, whether he's on microphone or whether he's not. You know, and he's on the flip side of all this, right? He's 35 years old. I think he's the elder statesman on the whole squad. So, like, these younger guys need to look up to him and say, how do I continue to play when I'm your age? So, you know, there's a lot of them. But I do think just how this whole thing, where these people were and how they all blended together to put together this run that resulted in the Western Conference Final, I thought was a lot of fun. And again, just, you know, seeing young guys, we're all sort of trained in the world that young players don't get these kind of opportunities. Yeah. And they do, and then they perform, and they reward their coach and staff, and they reward the faith and belief that people have in them. And I thought that was a really cool part of it.
No, and the thing about this too is that in doing some of these podcasts or other outlets and across MLS, because there's 30 gosh darn teams, everybody wants to know what San Diego FC. Some have thrown, it's still a garage, Darren. There's unfortunate fauna and sometimes flora.
I got them. I got them too.
But no, at the
you guys don't have the tennis racket bug zapper.
Oh, that's I've been trying to get the salt, the assault. It's called assault. It's like a gun with that shoots salt. It gets flies and whatnot like that. But then you have salt everywhere.
There. Yeah.
But I see some of the depth charts that I'm being thrown at and say, hey, is this just verify the San Diego FC depth chart? And I see Manu Duah as the 4th center back, or I see Verhoeven over, you know, somebody like Eisner, who actually was the one that started against Pumas. And it's kind of interesting to see what the perspective still is from the other 30 teams of what San Diego FC can do, because of the parity of MLS, it can go, you know, anywhere this season. And I think an expectation, we can get to expectations here after the Pumas discussion for MLS, but expectations can be anything from, hey, make playoffs, you're still good, get to the Western Conference Finals again.
Careful now.
Good.
Mikey Varas does not like the word expectations.
Yeah, there's a couple of sensitive. Have you pushed on some of those nerves?
Yeah, we've had a few. Like, I mean, I don't mind it. I mean, I think when he disagrees with a point, I've gotten used to a lot of people that you interview in sports just sort of agreeing because it's like the easier thing to do, just to be like, yes, like I can do this and I can just get this interview over quicker if I just am like, yeah, okay, good point, whatever. I don't mind it if he pushes back a little bit because again, it goes against the grain from what I feel like has become a little bit more part of sports interactions. So I don't like, it hasn't ever felt like it's aggressive, you know, in my situation. You know, I think he knows I'm open-minded enough to be like, all right, like, tell me if I'm wrong. I said, I will literally ask a question. Like, I feel like, you know, if I'm wrong, and I'll be like, yeah, I think you're wrong. You know, I don't mind that. I kind of dig it because I don't think it's done in a way that is intended to, you know, chop me down at all. So yeah, but yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't mind any of that. It doesn't really bother me at all. I think, the trade-off is that he says a lot of interesting things as well.
Yeah.
So if you don't push exactly the right button or open the key the exact right way to figure out and try to get the answer that you're searching for here, then, you just kind of got to figure out a way to do it better. Or, maybe he'll give you something different, but it's never really, it's never, sometimes you could tell, like, you'll have to, if I'm getting ready like midweek show and he's not super chatty, you got to keep trying. He can be short with answers sometimes, and you just got to try to figure out a way to keep it going.
Yeah, he's a straight shooter, as Chua found out a couple times in post matches.
Yeah, no, he's definitely fun to talk to. I agree with
but
that.
I also think he comes from he has enough experience in the culture of football that it's not like other coaches in other sports who are like, what? How dare you? I don't ever feel like it's that. Like, I've been on the receiving end of that, and that's not anything that I think I've experienced personally or that I've even noticed him. But again, that's just my observation on it.
Yeah, and he definitely has the routine same sentences when asked about specific things like Chucky Lozano. He's going to stick to the script, especially last season. He did it today. But yeah, I mean, can fans expect same team again, Adrian and you on the radio, like doing the games, right?
What
is that going to look like this year?
I don't know.
It's a good question. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's where we're going. I will wait for. I think last year, it was really work in progress on a lot of different levels, and it was very late in the game where we all found out what roles we were going to be playing here. But as far as I know, I'm excited to be back on the 21st. So hopefully, that's the situation. I haven't heard otherwise. So I guess I'll find out if there's a credential there, then great. If there's no credential, then I guess that will be the notification that I'm not back for season number 2. But yeah, I think
we all hope you are.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I mean, I hope we are too. But I went into it last year with zero expectation that it was going to be anything more than a handful of games to start the season.
Yeah.
So that it turned into what it turned into was truly, and I mean this, it was just truly unexpected and appreciated. And I just said, hey, in that first season, I'm going to do everything I can to be as involved as possible. Whether that's, doing pre-half post, doing games, whatever, doing podcasts, doing midweek shows, I just want to be involved as often as possible because, we've all been here trying to fight for this sport and this capacity to get here. And now that it finally was, I just, wanted to be as close to it as possible. So if there's other opportunities to go back and run it back for a second season, I'm all about it.
Yeah. It was unprecedented.
Yeah. Well, we had you in the, did you get it?
No.
Okay. We'll get it. Don't worry.
Someone's saying the bug assault is an amazing device, Tony.
No, it really is. But again, salt's everywhere. But you were at Snapdragon credentialed, and that's how we made this connection during the Pumas game, right? And so because of Concacaf and just the way that Concacaf is, they like to have their own. They run the show, they run everything, and so we had you
15-minute media things, and very straightforward.
You can't do live hits in Snapdragon Stadium even an hour after. So I had to back up the car.
Oh, you couldn't.
No, I had to back up the truck and hopefully connect to media Wi-Fi and do the post match out there.
Their Wi-Fi is so good, even at the facilities.
Excellent. Yeah,
it's the best Wi-Fi I've ever seen.
It's the little things, man.
Yeah.
But all right,
is that you being facetious or no?
No.
I was going to say I've never had an issue with Wi-Fi. Like,
Snapdragon and at the facilities. The training ground. It's the fastest Wi-Fi I've ever had. Like, our videos will upload in a minute.
Yeah. Okay, good. Well, I would hope so. It's Snapdragon.
Yeah. It's a technology company.
Kind of have a problem, right? Yeah. It's like when you're at AT&T Park and your cell phone doesn't work.
All right. So we'll talk a little bit about Pumas, but we'll kind of go into it with this. We're gonna bring in Abe, who is our writer. He's our contributor here.
You're gonna be writing right there.
He's always working, man.
Doing the thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say they mentioned at SanDiego.FC's official opening of the academy that Snapdragon and Qualcomm donated basically like all their Wi-Fi devices to like SDSU and also for like the training facility. So yeah, Wi-Fi is a real asset that they have over there.
The grade of the year, man.
I love how like this
is
such a wonderful dumb show. It's like we're just Wi-Fi talk. Just why not? Just great job, SDFC.
Well, I think we've all been in environments where the opposite has been true.
Correct.
And it is painful.
Yes.
Absolutely.
It just drags it down. All right, Darren, we have a segment here where we talk we do just a little bit of a potpourri of soccer locally, right? And it's called Goals, Gaffes, and Greats. So we'll bring you on here.
It's a fan favorite, by the way.
Yeah, it's my favorite part of the show.
First, we'll go ahead and start with goal of the week. And so goal of the week, is usually a San Diegan who scores it or something that happens San Diego adjacent. Well, this happened.
It's happened before. Sometimes is against San Diego teams.
Yes.
And we always recognize it. A great goal is always a great goal. I think everybody can agree about this one that happened. First goal at Snapdragon this year, professionally, right? First goal in general.
Yeah, even amateur.
Does get it back. Now it falls to the outside. Chip cross, bicycle kick. What a finish that is! Against the grain in astonishing fashion, and Pumas leads. And the acrobatic hit right into the back of the.
I was watching this game from home, and in Spanish, the call on it was just absolutely insane. And anytime you see like a chilena like that, it's just completely nuts. But I can't think of a better goal that I've seen at Snapdragon.
Yeah, no.
Can you think of a better goal that you've seen in person?
Yes.
For
Giovanni Dos Santos against the US. Yeah, I saw that.
That was a better goal or just like a more important?
No, that was a better goal.
Yeah, that's a better goal.
Come on, Darren.
He made Tim Howard cry, dude. Like Keylor Navas. I mean, what's his
Morales?
No, el portero de San Diego FC.
Oh,
Cisniega was not in tears after that goal.
I don't think he saw it. Right, he's like, what happened? No, where did that come from? That was incredible to see live. What are those like? Did that really just happen? What happened here? Incredible.
Yeah, the fans going crazy out there for los universitarios and Pumas. Is like that's para la foto for the picture. Like that's picture perfect right there. Beautifully done.
Robert Morales. I mean, we also talked about Carrasquilla right before the game. We're all kind of huddled up saying like Carrasquilla is one to watch. Like this guy won the golden ball in the Gold Cup last time
in this stadium.
Like this guy is legit. The patience on timing Yepes slide tackle and then cross it over him.
Beautiful little spin back too, little back spin.
And you know what? Like props to San Diego FC on this game. We're gonna dive in on it, but when Carrasquilla came out injured, that's when the wheels started falling off for Pumas too.
And he didn't play over the weekend.
He did not. He's going to be out for 2 weeks, so he's not going to be out. He's not going to be playing tomorrow.
Feels like it's a big deal. I saw a Chilena at Estadio Caliente during Copa Libertadores.
Ooh.
I don't remember which South American club it was. Maybe Atlético Mineiro, but I that was one of those up there. This one that we're talking about, like top 3, 4, 5 goals that you've ever seen personally in your life. Like,
yeah.
Man, that was on the list. Now, maybe this one just in terms of the pure goal itself. Now, the impact obviously is what? I guess we'll wait and find out. It is the away goal.
Yeah.
But other than that, nothing else really.
It's a sole reason why Pumas still has a chance.
Yes.
There's a slim chance. But again, MLS teams going into Mexico has not boded well in this competition.
This is the first time that San Diego FC is going to go into Mexico play a game. So that's going to be interesting. That was the goal of the week. First season with Pumas on loan from Toluca, who would be the next opponent for San Diego FC, which I'm dying to watch if that happens. That's the real test.
Anybody. Don't jinx anybody.
March 18th.
This goal
aren't that expensive, by the way, for March 18th to Toluca.
Hey, I wonder if that factored into anybody's decisions to maybe not go to Mexico City for Pumas. Just wondering if that maybe factored in for anybody who had refundable flights and Airbnbs.
Better food outside of Nemesio Diaz in Toluca. So I think
more elevation too.
More elevation too.
Right?
Yes, better stadium, better surroundings, better club.
Looks amazing on television.
Yeah,
La Bombonera.
Yeah, Bombonera.
You almost sounded like a Papa John's commercial. Better goals, better this.
All right, let's stay in Mexico because it's still San Diego FC adjacent by the transitive property, right? Pumas still. The opponents for San Diego FC. You saw Keylor Navas play, guys.
Oh, I loved it.
Keylor Navas. Did you guys watch Atlas or Pumas by any chance?
I thought it was a heartbreak of a game at the last minute.
Well, Keylor Navas, 3-time Champions League winner, decides to allow that goal to his hands.
Oh. I feel like that's not difficult still.
No, it's not. The other replay. As a former goalkeeper,
Come on,
tell
us what 3-time Champions League Keylor Navas did wrong. Come on.
Absolutely. Okay, well, let's wait here. All right. So a good play by Atlas to create some chaos in the box. Primera volea with the left. You're not expecting it all the time for it to strike in such a perfect angle, but he tries to catch it.
Yeah,
that's the technical error there for Keylor Navas. He tries to catch it instead of just parrying it out, which is the safe thing to do. Overconfidence, maybe he tried a little bit too much in that moment, but for a world-class goalkeeper, still kind of a big mistake there.
That's let's see. He came into the Concacaf match having allowed 3 goals in 4 matches. Now he's allowed 6 in his last.
Yeah. Yeah. Not good. He's still, you could tell, just world-class talent for sure, but you can definitely tell where it's taken a step back, even in that San Diego FC match. Yeah, see, Esteban, he knows. Also a goalkeeper. Got a little bit too confident, wanted to catch it. The thing that I noticed in Liga MX game is they have Amazon boxes now holding the balls.
One of the main sponsors of Liga MX now.
Is it really?
Yeah, it is.
It's good advertising. Good eye by you.
Yeah. Yeah, right there.
I think it's pretty cool. We all get those.
It's clever.
Once in a while, yeah.
Yeah, I like it. I like it too. I loved also watching Luca Bombino, all of 19 years old, standing over 3-time Champions League winner Keylor Navas face down in the dirt at Snapdragon Stadium. You and I were right next to each other. It is the video that you posted when there's all the clattering going on in the background. It's like
his reaction. I think his answer as well to like, hey, like, is this something that's been in the works? He's like, oh, well.
You can tell he thought for a second, like,
will I get in trouble?
Am I going to get in trouble? I just want to like pinch his cheeks every time, but then he goes out there and he's just a tackling machine. The guy's just ruthless.
You guys know who? You guys, I figured it out. I actually have a weird talent to like, oh, this person looks like that person, or like just kind of similarities like that. He's Tom Holland in Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah.
He has the same sort of build. He has the same kind of outlook. He's strong as hell, like Spider-Man. And just, I mean, for his age, the maturity that he has and the control.
Right now,
technically, yeah.
Like MCU Spider-Man.
Right so, I mean, you know, not a bad comparison.
It's a great it's a great transition to because we talked about it, right? Like, he did win the player of the match that night, and rightfully so. He gets a goal. He's played phenomenal. It looks like it's going to be an even better year for him so far this season. And, you know, he's amongst one of those next young players to make the jump to Europe. I mean, Luca Bombino is the grade of the week.
They're knocking for sure. A auxiliary. Just for the two of you, I'll give it to Benito. You did great. Look at that. I don't know how much the NFL will allow, so we'll just bring it on down.
we might.
We'll come kick this door down here. The NFL.
No, the only ones that have done that. Who's done that? La Liga. Once.
La Liga did it.
What's up with you guys?
Amazon Prime.
They can't figure it out.
They
need some.
Amazon Prime did it for a wave game one time.
Yeah,
for a wave game, guys.
Hey, come on.
But yeah,
they're gonna come after you for saying that.
Bad Bunny. You know, just other football. You know, still a World Cup host city, right?
I think so.
It's not in San Jose, so.
I mean, FIFA's going to start doing halftime shows as well for the World Cup, I think. So we got to be
going to have a show, right?
Yeah.
2006, Pavarotti, amazing. And then Zidane did whatever he did, just inspired by that. Trying to think of another halftime show. Coldplay played one not too long ago, a World Cup final halftime show.
They did?
Yeah, I think this last one actually, one of the last ones. Yes,
Qatar.
No, not Qatar. Oh no, definitely not Qatar for sure. Might have been in Russia.
2010. Did you Waka Waka, right?
At halftime?
Yes.
No, it wasn't halftime. It was before the game. I think
I
for
don't
the
think
World
there's
Cup
ever been a
final.
final
No. I think
halftime show.
it's always like before the game starts, but it's usually the inaugural match.
Club World Cup, right? Club World Cup had some halftime stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, they're gonna try to replicate that. Shout out to Ricky Martin, 1998.
There's problems though. Like, we believe that the laws of the game are going to actually dictate that they stick within the 12 minutes or whatever it is.
Yeah, I don't.
You can't do it on the field in a World Cup. You got to do it parking lot or do it like they did for the Club World Cup final where they put it up in the stands.
Yeah. I don't think they would do that. I mean, the World Cup is just
and again we're talking
tournament, but
what are we talking about though? I feel like there are no more rules, no more laws of the game.
Yeah, that is true.
The game's gone. 5 substitutions. That's when you lost me.
Okay, no. Hydration break in every game.
Every game. Like
What was the last World Cup? It was the
4 quarters of football,
and then 10 minutes of added time at half because every second counted.
I'm okay with that. Don't waste time.
I like the Premier League rule on the corner kicks if the goalkeeper is wasting time.
What is it?
You haven't checked it out? Like Premier League's kind of piloting it, where if the goalkeeper's taking long on a goal kick,
like 7 seconds, right?
They're awarding a corner kick.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I don't like awarding offense in set pieces like that.
Don't waste time as a goalkeeper.
That's part of it's pitch clock.
Isn't that why you have added time?
Now it's making the goalkeeper actually let go of the ball. That doesn't mean you can't just drop it still and then take it off.
It should still count that way. All right. That was our little
goals, gaps, and greats.
All right. So, talking about Pumas and San Diego FC, bringing it back a little bit.
I love Liga MX right now.
Just Chivas is number 1.
It's cold up top right now, man. We did lose 2 crucial players, but we play America on Valentine's Day, so my girlfriend's gonna love watching that during Valentine's. But
I
don't know, man. I don't remember when last time Chivas had that great of a start.
Let's not peak at the beginning. Let's as the great Nate Miller would say, it's about when you peak.
Growing during the season.
Yes.
Yeah, as Pep would say, the team that grows the most during the season is the team that's
Nate Miller building loyal 2.0.
Nate Pep.
Yeah, Nate was at the game the other night.
Yeah, he was. Charlie and company. I think from what sources told me, I think Charlie was the one that got everybody in there. So
we did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good to know.
Hey, last time he was there, he played against Dortmund. Not bad for him at all. But
said what could have been.
Come on.
I like how you say he got everybody in there, like knew the code for the back gate, right? Like his key still worked.
Okay, relax. They had 1 game.
Yeah. His key card.
Like that fake video is going on for Atalanta, where it's like, oh, their passcode was the year that they were founded, and the guy just kind of makes his way, but then it actually was a completely fake video. Did you see that by any chance?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, Serie A content is not ideal, but all right. Pumas versus San Diego FC, Concacaf Champions.
What were the expectations before the match for you both? Like realistic expectations
for the game or for the tie? Like for both? Like for
this game?
I thought winning was perfectly reasonable. I didn't think that they were gonna just get battered around by Pumas, but just presuming, of course, that Pumas was gonna come in and play similar to how they ended up playing. So I certainly thought like a 2-1 was possible. 4-1, like you had said, hey, I just got back from the future. here's the final. It's 4-1. I would be like, oof.
Ow.
Tough one for the Azul and Chrome there. But so I don't know that I would have ever predicted that, but I certainly thought, clipping a goal or two was possible.
Yeah.
And that they hadn't, outside of their 4-0 against Santos, which is, I watched that game. That Santos was terrible.
Terrible. Absolutely.
I don't know how good Pumas is. I was inclined to think that they were better, but I thought the second leg, and I guess we'll see what happens, but I thought that's where it would be decided. I just, the way the roof caved in on them over those 18 minutes was like an incredible thing to witness. Like, I mean, I was hard to believe that we were watching that.
I mean, we talked about it too at the top, right? The Mexican side of it, the Mexican media, where they're like going after Efrain Juarez, the head coach of Pumas, for being satiated and satisfied with the 60 to 65 minutes of play that his team had, going up 1-0. But that was the formula that they won and beat Tigres with. Exactly that. They went up early and they threw themselves all the way back, parked the bus. Right. But then you invite the pressure again. Here, a wonder goal. Like it's incredible. How was shout out to La Rebel? I think the La Porra.
They're pretty loud at times that they were actually like trying.
Goya is one of my favorite chants in soccer for sure. As much as I dislike him,
I think the lineup was very reasonable. I think Tony, you called for Eisner to start, and Darren, you kind of like saw him a little in preseason and said like you like what you saw from Eisner. Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, he stood out. I thought he, at least in the opportunity that I had to watch, I thought he was a player that stood out. Now, maybe he stood out because we're used to the other dudes, right? We're used to Yepe. We're used to Unders. So, like, what's this? This is different. But yeah, I thought he stood out, and then to see him in the starting 11, I thought was interesting, and he rewarded them. He not only playing solidly, although again, like, did you have a ton to do in defending? Not really, but beautiful assist, had a couple of nice crosses, seemed to have a little bit of presence to him. So yeah, he's an interesting player. I don't know that he's now the starting right back for SDFC, but for a match, you felt pretty good about that performance for sure, I thought. And again, it stood out to me just having the opportunity to see it a little bit, just because, we had the opportunity to go in there just in preparation of the season for the broadcast and such. So I'm like, oh, that's different. What is that all about? Came from San Jose. I guess we have San Jose players everywhere here, right?
Yeah.
And I guess the reason being is, that they want to play a little bit more vertical in San Jose, and he's not a guy who's got jets. So, he's a guy who's a little bit more suited perhaps for this style of system. So, hey, like, listen, it's one match, but it's an important match, and he played well in it, and he contributed. So I thought that was a really good debut.
I'm curious, Abe, on the broadcast, did they mention anything about the way that SanDiego FC was playing in terms of it being a little bit different than there used to be? Because there was a lot more crossing since the game started. There was a lot more crossing and intentional aerial duels that were setting up a incredibly healthy. Darren, I cannot stress enough how healthy Marcus and Varson is.
It's important.
They were giving him opportunities. Did they mention that at all, Abe?
No, I was watching it in Spanish, so they were kind of talking about it more from the Pumas angle. But that first 60 minutes, they were kind of wondering, like, okay, where's this final touch? Why isn't Chucky Lozano playing? That came up, I think, like 30 minutes into the game. And
on the bingo card,
which I was expecting it a little earlier, but it was kind of funny when I heard it. But it looked a lot different on TV than it has previously, because they like seeing them jump like that. I was just not really prepared for that. And if they like truly added that into their game and like as a tool in their arsenal, that's going to be like very dangerous come MLS season, because like if they weren't even kind of trying that last year, and now if they're going to be like using that as like a secret little thing that they can do, it's going to be very, very good if it keeps working this well.
According to footballreference.com, do we trust fbref.com?
Yeah.
That's the most crosses SDFC's ever had in a match.
I believe it.
Yeah, 38, I think, was the number that they had. 36 had been the previous high from last year, I think, against Minnesota, that crazy one where St. Clair made like 7,000 saves. And that's all they could do is like cross it in and try to figure it out. That's the most they ever had.
there's a lot of positives in this game, especially in the second half. You know, Pumas started dropping back and they parked the bus, and that's how, and it worked for them against Tigres. So in Efrain Juarez defense, like, why not try it against this MLS team, right? SanDiego FC, we know them pretty well, I would say, and we know that if you give them the opportunity to keep attacking, they're going to score. And it was a matter of time. One negative that I will point out from SanDiego FC, for me personally, was Amal Pellegrino. I did not like his game. I think he missed a ton, and I think it's going to be like that this whole season, where he's going to score goals, but he's going to miss a lot more. And I don't even know if he'll have the same numbers Chucky Lozano had last season, and that's with Chucky's injuries as well. So Mikey putting all his chips on Pellegrino, I don't know. It's also just one game. You know, it's still preseason mode. But from what I saw, I did not love it.
Well, say something about Varson. He's the 9. He's your striker.
Oh, no, he didn't score.
That's the performance I think I was paying more attention to was Marcus's. You know, just because, okay, you're healthy, right? And you know, you are somebody who was a big missing piece of this puzzle, right? The whole story all season about the number 9 position was one that we all talked about in different places and in different ways. So, you know, if you're getting something there that wasn't there last year, then you know, I'd like to see that. I'm with you. It's preseason. I thought also that was an interesting, you know, thought about, you know, Efrain Juarez is how you approach this match facing a team. Because you're right that it worked against Tigres, but that's in a place where you've never won. You know, you've never won in El Volcán. You're doing that as a one-off. Now you're facing a team in this knockout style where, like, what are you worried about? You know, like I mean, I shouldn't say it. I shouldn't say it that way. I mean, not what are you worried about? Like, wouldn't you feel like, hey, like we're the team that's been playing. We played like a quarter of our season already. Shouldn't we be applying pressure to them? They're the ones that haven't played a competitive match. We don't know where they are in terms of fitness, right? Like the first thing that Mikey said in his press conference was, we've only had 3 weeks of training. Like we've only been doing this for 3.5 weeks. And if you're them, you know, again, not just in terms of like, you know, the cojones and all that sort of stuff, but like, wouldn't you think, you know, like we have an opportunity here because we've been playing, like we should be in form and they probably are not. So I maybe it just played into, you know, you do that at your own peril when you play the team. But I would look at it from that standpoint. Was there an opportunity there for them to say, like, we are the side that's been playing for a while. We are the one that should be applying the pressure to them, not just sitting around and absorbing pressure just because we got one goal and now we're just going to defend it for the next 80 minutes. Like, it felt weird.
Yeah. I mean, it was a coaching loss, I think, for sure. Efrain Juarez should have definitely kept attacking. And, you know, SanDiego FC took advantage of that. And then in this corner, it was great to see Manu Duah hop in the air and get that header in. And, you know, again, these youngsters are going to come in clutch for the season. I think it's very refreshing seeing a team that is actually investing in the youth players. Because how many times have you heard, Tony, from La Selección, right? Man, juegan a los morros, play the kids and see what happens. I think for me, based on that, it's so refreshing seeing SanDiego FC actually play the kids and it's paying off.
That's who scored.
Yeah.
Like all the kids. That's, you know, the response in a way to our friends over at Chucky FC of like, wow, you have to play Chucky and this and this and this. And well, you just got upstaged by a 35-year-old last season. And now it's the kids that are coming through and creating those goals and creating these moments. Alex Mighten. ¿Cuándo lo ves? When are you see him?
Mr.
Like
David Vazquez winning headers twice. Like I'm sorry. Like they're getting better. And these kids are still young and they're going to keep getting better.
And by the way, Duah, you know, the goal obviously changes everything.
Oh, yeah.
But also him defensively. He had a couple of moments where for the rare opportunity that Pumas had to find themselves in a little bit of space, he just like swept them right out of the way. I'm just going to go meet you and take the ball right here, you know, which is, I think, his primary responsibility, but, you know, who knows that. And just all around, like watching him continue to develop into this incredible player at a position that didn't exactly come naturally from where we were a year ago is, you know, that like might have literally changed the whole approach to what you did in the summer transfer window last year because you felt so comfortable with Manu Duah playing as a center half. Like, yeah, it's just an incredible story to watch this guy continue to seemingly get better match by match. You know, it's like, it's really a lot of fun to watch.
He is a freak as a center back. Like that's
it's so easy for him too. Like it's easy.
Yeah.
It comes so natural. And the fact that he's in a system that he's allowed to move forward with the ball. And then it's my turn or your turn with Chris McVeigh, because you see McVeigh do the exact same things. He just bombs it down that midfield, and you're like, what is he doing receiving a cross in the middle of the box or creating something, right?
I'm curious to see how McVeigh does this season, because he had a really good season. I wonder if he can build off that or if he kind of drops off a little bit. But then you have Manu Duah to kind of,
and you have Soe.
Balance it. You have Soe, who's young.
Andre Soe? So, not sure. I don't know how to do that. Oh, with the thing through it.
I don't think they send the pronunciations.
Not yet. I'm looking for that. Yeah, there's a pronunciation guy
But
out
then
there.
you also have Andres Reyes that's going to come back from injury halfway through the season. I mean, if he even
Pilcher a little bit of depth. Second season for him.
Pilcher was a starter most of last season, and it's going to be interesting to see what that right back position, if they can stay healthy. And I say they because it's going to be many players.
It was a hospital wing in the right back the entire
Kumaro's
year.
still in the roster, right?
Yeah.
You have Kumaro, you have Verhoeven, you have Eisner now. Pilcher can play there. McVeigh has played there. Luca Bombino has played there.
McVeigh was playing there at the end of the Pumas match.
Yeah, so it's. I feel like there's more depth in the back line now than there ever was.
It's the most stacked position, the defense, for sure, because everybody can play so many different things, and that's in a 4-3-3. If you really had to and you went down numbers wise, you could totally play 3 in the back and you'd be fine.
Is there somebody on the back who can play some midfield?
Manu.
Let me think about that one.
At this point, you could put CJ Dos Santos, which, I mean, that's a player, that's a battle where I really hope the best for him. But just the nature of his injury, the timeline with MLS coming in, like, it's going to be a Duran free start. Like it's just going to be a Duran free start. Just because Cisniega can't. But hopefully, with the trajectory that CJ was having, it's one of recovery, but it's going to be a long road. It's going to be a long road for him. But the kid
Duran looks like a completely different person, by the way. Have you seen him?
Yeah. He's a man. Like, whoa. Like, for those of us that remember him as a 16-year-old.
He's 19 now?
He looks like, he might not get ID'd if he went and tried to buy, a 6-pack. I'm not suggesting he do so.
Yeah, don't do it, Duran.
I mean, but still, like, he's
Duran watches. Don't do that, man.
He's a 21. No, I think he's 21.
He is in Mexico though. So 18, yeah.
Manu.
No, hey,
man, no, ya valió madre.
That's the.
Don't let Alexis Vegas hang out with these kids.
No. Yeah, he'd be like Marco Fabian and end up in Empire Strikers.
Wasn't Juarez?
Efrain?
Yeah,
he was like that.
He was partier,
that, doesn't he?
But all right, Pumas. They took a beating and obviously are paying for it in the media. And then they go over, play Liga MX, tie against Atlas. My biggest takeaway from that match and seeing the Santos match as well, I mean, it's depending who you face, obviously, right? Like, by the transitive property, I think I told you, right? Like, SanDiego FC should beat Santos Laguna 8-0 or 8-1, just if they played right now. But it's something that Pumas has an issue with, is finishing games. They're not able to finish games. In this last Liga MX game, they had the game in hand and they just sat back, invited that attack, and invited all the opportunities for Atlas to take, and one of them was going to land. And they ended up tying 2-2. And so it's a different circumstance.
I mean, let's be real. Pumas has not been a good team in the last 10 years.
What do you say, Abe?
10, well, they've had a moment or two.
They made
semifinal. They made the final. They lost to Seattle.
Then I think semifinals against Vancouver when they made it all the way, I think last year. But again, where's the stock? Where are the Mexican teams taking stock for this, right? Unless you're the winner, it doesn't matter in Mexico.
In some ways, it's probably worse, like, that you're the one that lost to Seattle.
Yeah.
Like you let MLS win one of these. Like, you're on the other side of that. Jeez.
Yeah.
Brutal. Nobody else has lost to an MLS club in this final. Well, let's see. What's your problem?
No, but now Pumas is coming back, and this is going to be a make it or break it, according to outlets that are coming out from Mexico for Efrain Juarez, the coach. And what a make it or break it situation, right? Hey, 4-1, don't get scored on, and win 3-0, go, because those are the situations and the only ways that Pumas can potentially move forward. I think it's in here somewhere. I'm going to pull it up.
And you probably got to play it more open, which does that benefit SDFC because it's more a style that they want to play.
And then without Carrasquilla, it's going to be tough as well for Pumas. So, I feel like the game's going to open up a lot for San Diego FC, but I am interested to see how they perform playing in Mexico. Like, one thing is traveling within the U.S. and going from coast to coast, but going to Mexico, there's talks about the altitude, right? Playing in Ciudad de Mexico can be tough. It's a different environment for sure than any other MLS stadium or atmosphere. So I'm really curious to see. I think they're going to handle it well, to be honest. And I can see this game ending in a tie. I can see San Diego also pulling off a win. I don't think it's going to be a 4-0 win like it was at Snapdragon. But I'm fairly confident in saying that San Diego is going to advance against Toluca.
Do you think that anything, the away form at the end of last season, do you think any of that carries over to this? Or are the circumstances just so different because of everything you just said?
No, I think that it's the mentality. Like, I think Mikey Varas has said it's from the beginning, 3 weeks of training for this match, and they're not putting excuses. And, it's very easy for a coach to say, yeah, well, see what happens. Like, we've only trained for 3 weeks. Like, that, and use that as an excuse. Like, Mikey, they're not doing that. And I respect it a lot.
See, I think it's interesting because, they had the press conference today, and because of the, you're up 4-1, like, what's your mentality? And like you said, Mikey has a lot of, you can sort of hear the answers before. He's like, no, this is who we are. It's our identity. But, they didn't start scoring until the 68th minute, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I started thinking, well, what if the situation's exactly the same? Like, Pumas is up 1-0, 68th minute, and Mikey's looking around. Is he like, need to get some attackers in here? Or is he like, let's go 5-4-1, right? Because we saw that a handful of times last year. Is he truly going to be like, we're going for the goals, or, then we'll see what happens, and maybe it completely collapses? Or is he like, I think we need to switch our formation, at that exact moment, right? Like, again, it's 1-0 Pumas, 68th minute. It's like, there's like pressure on, corner kick, shot, bring this guy in, attacking player, attack. Like, I'm kind of curious to see I'm not rooting for that. I prefer they just win it going away. But I when he says that during the press conference today, I'm like, okay, those circumstances are different now. You're like, we're talking about just being a handful of minutes, 20 minutes away, which is a long time, right? But like, I'm kind of curious to know what's going through his mind, just if he's going through the different scenarios about what that could be like.
This is really going to start to dictate the differences and the wrinkles between Right to Dream style and Mikey Varas. And it's going to be these moments, right? Because again, we're starting to see them be more aerial. They're starting to cross more. We're starting to see some layers to the style of play. And was that circumstantial? Was that a situational thing where, well, we know what Pumas is not good at. Historically, Mexican teams are terrible in the air and at balón parado and set pieces. So we'll go ahead and attack that way. But if that's going to be something that's an added layer that they are able to go ahead and drop back and successfully defend for however amount of time that they need to, then, that can be an interesting layer. But again, is the sustainability aspect over a period of time, over a season, over 2 tournaments right now? Is there a style of play that you're going to play in a tournament versus the league? Because that's also something that happens, right? You see traditionally stronger tournament teams, Jose Mourinho, he's fantastic tournament manager. He knows how to win. How Portugal won the Euros when Cristiano Ronaldo won it. Boring. They tied their entire group stages and they made it all the way, and they just got it done when they needed to. Is that going to be something that's different? Do they have the players to even do that? Is the depth there?
Well, last year, game 2 against Portland, they switched their formation late when they had a lead. And, you're looking, they had the actual visual of Mikey. He was there up in Portland, and he holds his hands up and he goes 5-4-1. And the reporter for Apple TV says it on the broadcast, so it's not like this is some sort of major secret. But she's like, yeah, he's just telling them like they're going 5-4-1 here. We saw that at LAFC. So like they can do that. Like they've done it before, which is why I think it's so interesting to see like at what point here or what is the game situation where they start thinking like, okay, like, yeah, we want to go for one. And if we get one, we're going to get two, right? That's like literally what Yeppe said to us on Tuesday night. Usually we know if we can get one, then like the other one's 5-10 minutes away. But like at what point you're like, okay, no, here, let's switch everything around a little bit. Like, let's be pragmatists, let's not just go for the glory.
And if you can help me queue up the English port of it on the meet availability, just tell me
you're talking
number,
to me, right?
Or también English. But yeah, and to see this develop is going to be interesting in real time, right? Because technically they're still in preseason, and they can go whichever direction they want. And you don't have the Coachella Valley Invitational, which Abe will be a part of, coming to cover San Diego Wave. Not a part of it playing. That'd be interesting. But
I think something interesting too is just looking at their Instagram posts, like Valakari's making the trip.
I saw him on the bus.
Yeah. Like he's making the trip up there, down there. So I mean, I didn't see Lewis Morgan making the trip.
Lewis Morgan's one that it's going to be interesting how they integrate him into the squad, because in that first interaction that we had, we got him before we got Mikey. And he said that one of his biggest challenges is going to be how to throttle himself and not go all the way out, because that was a mistake that he did in his recovery of other major injuries. And that's something that he's going to have to learn to do, but he just can't help himself. Cue in Mikey Varas, he's like, no, we've had to throttle a couple players for their own good. And that just immediately just came into my mind. And so it's going to be interesting to see how they move him into it. And if putting him in altitude and in these high pressure situations is going to be the ideal, or it's one of these things where, well, there's no better time than now.
Like, let's say like he's right on the verge, right? I mean, do you factor in, not that you're assuming anything, but you're like, okay, well, it's 4-1. What do we,
let him go run out there for a bit.
Yeah. I mean, when we were at the press conference last week, it was, Valakari, Lewis Morgan, probably not for one, but hopefully for two. So I'm with you. I saw Valakari on the bus on the Instagram post and said, oh, okay, well, that's a guy that you can work with there. He'll go out there and just, be a wrecking ball in the midfield.
That's the guy you had to, make your everything. He was doing it all. And I think that's one of the players that I'm more excited to see this season. And I think I'll ask you who's a player for you, and we'll just go around the horn for that. But Oni Valakari just getting a chance to play his natural position is something that I'm looking forward to, because when you saw him play in that role, he took Luca's role and said, you're on the bench now. Luca, the ball goes through you, but the play doesn't go through you. The ball literally just comes and goes. You're a one of them old Western saloon doors. You just kind of do this, and there's no creativity after. There's chances, and what?
I think Duke could potentially, and we'll talk about the new signing NWSL announced today, but I think Duke could take over that starting spot eventually.
Bryce Duke. Yep. Bryce Duke.
It has a nice ring to it.
I need a riff after.
Yeah. I mean, Valakari to me was interesting in that he was the only other player besides Dreyer who played every game.
Yes.
Yep. It's only two of them.
As alone.
Yeah. He's the only two of those guys, like him and Dreyer. So total unsung hero. Total unsung hero. Because what did you need him to do? Like,
first not that he goal at Snapdragon.
First playoff
and regular season. Yeah, flair for the dramatic. So yeah, I mean, I thought he really was. I thought he was like a dude who just did a lot of different things, and something's better than others, but he did everything that you could ask for him, and I mean, never was unavailable. That's your availability matters.
Can't finish for shit, but.
No, he probably could work on that a little bit.
Yeah.
But he's not
a striker. Yeah,
that's not his
job. That's not his job.
Like he's supposed to strike outside the box and then create the rebound, and then in Varston just taps it in. Unless he's too busy defending, like Mikey likes his center forwards.
That third game against Portland, I mean, for him, he was putting it on a dime.
Yeah, just did the exact same place, exact same assist twice.
Yeah,
and to do that against, I don't care what professional team it is, against professionals is impressive. Any other player for you that you're kind of looking at and circling, maybe not just in this series, but just long term for this season?
I'm curious about Lewis Morgan, just in terms of, because he's new, so just in terms of wanting something. Hello. Oh, sorry. Just wanting somebody who's like maybe a little bit more somebody to contribute more to the attack. I think there were times where, especially now, presuming we're entering into a post-Chucky world, there's going to be a lot of times where they're going to be, where there's going to be a lot on unders, and somebody else, has to sort of emerge to be a presence, and Morgan has had a little bit of that in his career for sure, and seems to have the attitude that we like, when at least in the 5 minutes that we all had a chance to meet with him. So that's an interesting piece, because I think you need, they were a high scoring club obviously, but I think you need a little bit more based on the current construction for sure. So and then just seeing also the guys that we already talked about, the young players going into a second season of professional football, like just how they improved now, because there was a lot of things that we just didn't know. So now all of a sudden people are probably spending some time going, okay, like we're not going to get caught by surprise by this little number 27 who's playing left back. Like now we know a little bit about Luca Bombino. So it's going to be up to those guys to just continue to improve.
Guys, notice how we're not talking about Anders Dreyer. It's insane. Abe, who are you looking forward to?
Yeah, I should probably say Anders Dreyer, but I've been thinking a lot about Aníbal Godoy. Like, having a World Cup this year in the United States and Mexico, like, that's such a big deal to him. He already got a tattoo for it. Like, for a tournament that he hasn't even played in, that they just qualified for. That's how much it means to him. And for an older player, like, getting close to the end of the career and like thinking about like legacy and things like that, and also him performing at such a high level is like been really fun to watch. But he has to like keep that up throughout the MLS season and going into the World Cup too. Like, he played really well, and also like played with that intensity that I think we saw last year. But like, being able to maintain that, and from such an older player too, it's I find that really interesting, just because he has so much to prove and so much on the line for him. But like, that might just make it like an unreal performance out of him all season.
It's his last year too. He said it at the end of the year interviews, end of the season. This is pretty much his last year, unless somehow, he just pulls off a Tom Brady. Yeah, one more year, come out of retirement. But he wants to stay with San Diego as a coach, a part of the coaching staff, academy coaching staff. So I think that's someone you want to keep within the facilities at all times, like someone with, a couple months World Cup experience.
I see our buddy Dimitri. Yep, Pedro Soma. That's the one that I've been circling, and I'm very excited for it. And that's the natural transition from potentially Godoy.
Yepe Jr.
Yepe Jr. So you see him more as Yepe Jr. So does this mean that he's not going to take his starting spot? He's just going to have a second Yepe taking over Aníbal for whenever that happens? Because I see Aníbal just kind of being put as a closer, that enforcer, that John Obi Michael. We're familiar with John Obi and his play.
I still think
in Chelsea.
He's very green.
For Chelsea.
Pedro.
Yeah, Pedro. I didn't love his game against Pumas. I think he's still he's not at Luca Bombino's level. And Manu Duah's level.
That's crazy. That's like the standard, right?
I mean,
like Eisner had a Bombino-esque game.
Oh, I mean, that's the thing, right? Based off the one game we saw of Eisner, he has the potential to be, just as good as Bombino on the attacking end. Like, that's why Bombino's so good. He's box to box, but he provides crosses. He provides on the attacking end just as much as the defending end. And I think Eisner can do that. He got beat a little bit. Eisner did for sure. But Pedro Soma didn't love his game. And the thing is, playing a midfield role is a lot tougher than playing anywhere on the back line.
I think, another name there is David Vazquez too, especially with all the hype for him, because, he was somebody who's like, when he gets loaned to SDFC last year, people who had followed his career much closer were like, whoa, this talent, I can't believe it. Philadelphia, how could they be giving up on it? And, had a couple of moments, came right in. I think it was Leagues Cup when he debuted. He made a debut in Leagues Cup, scored against Cholos, right? But then for the most part, by the end of the year, sort of like, he
wasn't featured.
Yeah, not really featured. But, for a player that you hear so much about from people that have been covering youth soccer all the way up until where he was with Philadelphia Union. He's a player apparently that had interest from Liga MX clubs. So, I think that's another interesting name too. I agree with you about Soma. Like, I thought, that was not his, I thought it would have been a little bit better than that, but
I think it's
Even whether it's Eisner or whether it's Soma, like I think we, I also have to remind myself, like sometimes, the one game thing could be a little bit of a misleading, I suppose.
It's real. There was no one else to start.
Yeah.
Like Balakari wasn't available. Like, now you sign someone that can play like the 10 role. But there was no one else. Maybe David Vazquez, but I would much rather have Soma in that position over Vazquez starting.
So with that 10 role, right, you have Balakari there, and usually this 4-3-3 has 2 defensive midfield pivots. Do you now keep that and have one just up top right behind, almost in a false 9 center forward position to help Invartsen in that area, in that space? And if so, is that Balakari? Is that Duke, which you mentioned has some good highlights out there, like has some good minutes under him as well?
Yeah, so I mean it's gonna be exciting. I think that's the type of player that San Diego FC wants. 24 years old with all that experience, like you don't really find that too often.
Yeah.
So I can
100
see
MLS games,
100 MLS games already. So I think he is someone that could potentially come in and surprise, raise eyebrows. I think that's as good as it gets at not being able to get another DP player right now, because you just can't. It's not doable to get another DP signing with Chucky Lozano just kind of sitting out. So, what do? Find a player that could be at that level, but not necessarily have to pay him that much.
That's what Tyler does. And I mean, you've interacted with Tyler, man. Like, what is your just kind of overall take? Is he the real deal?
I think so. I have no reason to think otherwise up until this point. And you say that too, and you can even point to a couple of I don't know that they're mistakes, but you could say certain things maybe hadn't worked out as well as other things had, right? Like he gets a lot of credit for all the things that have worked out well, which is just the way it goes. But it's not like those are the only things that he's done. I think you still have questions about, Andres Reyes or, pick a couple of other players here. You could point to a couple of things. Nobody's got about 1,000. So nobody gets them all right. That's unrealistic to expect that. But, even with the ones that you would say after 1 year that didn't work, or, the good definitely outweighs the bad. And again, like we'll see, we're talking about, Michael Eisner here coming in and playing and starting in a Champions League match. That's not even, he hadn't been a pro anywhere. This is a guy that gets that opportunity. He wasn't playing for San Jose, right? So he was at MLS Next Pro. I don't think he's ever played any match at this level.
Yeah,
I don't think. So, now, does that mean that this guy is going to, be on his way to the, to the Breitbart Hall of Fame? No, but I think we learned a lot about, his ability to identify talent in season number 1. And, I think, you can certainly say that Mikey or that Tyler definitely, has an eye for it. And I think he also runs a whole department that knows how to do this stuff. Those guys are really good. They're really interesting in what they do. Like we had some ridiculous access on Behind the Flow where they let us into the room with the microphones to hear about their conversations over like trades and such like that, and just how they apply, and how they process information and how they give the information to the players. So, I think that there's like he's definitely, like brain in a jar kind of, but also having been a former player, understands it on a level as well. So I'm a believer, I'm a believer until otherwise. And I don't know that I would have said a year ago like that, like I'm all in on anybody.
Yeah.
But, sitting here a year later, you're like, yeah, like what is there to say like that these guys have really messed up?
Yeah, it's Moneyball with the player experience.
Yeah.
You guys want to hear from Mikey Varas in English from today? There wasn't a whole lot in English, but
from what I heard is that the comms team was, they were prepared because they're absolute pros, some of the best in the biz for sure. But they were kind of like, all right, we got to prep for the questions that are going to come Mikey's way in Spanish, because obviously they're in Mexico and Lozano's going to be a point of contention. But go ahead and play it, Chivo.
Question for both of you. Start with Mikey. Teams that are up three goals in a 2-leg series like this typically would sit back. I'm guessing that's not in your nature. And how do you approach that given the high altitude?
Yeah, we we will never turn away from our convictions for the style of play that we have. But we're also a very mature team, and we have always little nuances, tactical nuances that you have to be prepared to be flexible with in order to always give yourself the best chances of winning. So I think I mentioned this to you before in the past, is what you will see is San Diego FC going after the game, trying to score goals, trying to score the next goal, trying to be protagonists. And at the same time, we should always have game plan strategies that are very specific to the opponent and the location that you play in.
Oh, sorry. Yes, I think we have a clear vision in the way we want to play. We know, like the club, like the team, we know always in which way we want to play. But, in this tournament, in this Concacaf Champions Cup, you have to be smart sometimes. I don't want to say like we want to come here to sit back or try to play different game. I think we have our style, and we try to always follow our style of the play, and always say we have to be ready for everything. Tomorrow is a big game for us, I think, also for the club, and we have to follow our game plan also tomorrow.
So he said what he said.
Thank you, Mark. Ahora vamos.
So what he said, essentially, Godoy said, I'm glad that Mikey actually let his player answer a question that was directed to the player this time.
It wasn't about Chucky Lozano, which there's this question, that I saw in the comments right now. If Anders Drake gets hurt, will they reconsider Lozano? And I don't want to. In my opinion is there's no way it happens. But what if he gets to a point where there's injuries, because it's soccer and it can happen in a season where there's some serious injuries and you're kind of slim on positions? Is there a chance? Do you see if Chucky's still there and it's the same situation? Is there a chance maybe they're like, hey, we kind of need someone right now?
I guess there's always a chance, but I am saying this just on my own opinion, not based on anything. All I would say is what I've heard them say publicly, which is, we have decided that we're moving on. So I would not bet much money on that, but I also would say there's always a chance and anything can always happen.
Wonder what the line would be for that. No, Chucky coming back, ever playing for San Diego FC again.
I don't think so.
I just think it's not, I think even just listening to the handful of times where some players have answered the questions, they've mentally moved on. And I think now to reverse course on that would potentially be more detrimental than even whatever it is that people feel like the detriment is to moving on from it, right? So I don't know. It just sort of sounds to me like it is indelible.
I wonder if that's sorry, Abe, go ahead.
I was going to say, the whole Chucky situation is kind of starting to remind me of a story I once heard about Barry Bonds when he was in college, and how much the players, he was just kind of unliked by the rest of the team. And while that hasn't officially been said or kind of officially come from the players, the just willingness to move on this quickly seems like if everyone's okay with it on that front, then I think at this point, the fans shouldn't be expecting him to play any minutes just because he's that great of a player. They really believe in their philosophy and all that. And then if they were to go back on that, that would set a really, really bad precedent moving forward.
Yeah, I think it'd be real weird.
And the thing is too, though, you've done everything in your kind of ability to not sell him, just kind of the way it happened, the rollout. And I think that's what people also kind of don't understand and don't like, because last season he does get that suspension, and then it says they come out and say everything's fine, he's okay, he's back with the team now. And then I think the mistake in this was giving him an opportunity to score against Vancouver, because now you have a reason to point and wait, he's the only guy that scored in the small amount of time that he was there. Had he started, he would have doubled it. And you start playing the what if game. But had they not played him against Vancouver, all of this would have made more sense and would have made,
I feel like that was said almost every step of the way, right? And I don't want to take away from the goal. I mean, it was a deflection. Yeah. But whatever. He's the only one that scored, so it's fair, right? It is honest.
A goal's a goal.
A goal is a goal, and it's a goal scorer's goal, right? But I feel like decision day was, how could this happen? Okay, you go out there, you win 4-0. You're into the playoffs now. He's not rostered. This is a massive mistake. Win the game 2-1. You go into Portland. He's now back with the squad, but he's not starting. What is happening here? What is this? Now, okay, that one goes and you lose in penalty, right? But he plays. He comes out in the second half. He scores a goal. End of the game, some defensive stuff. Third game. This is a deciding game. How could you not be? They win 4-0. You move on to the next round, and it's the same thing. Like, how could they not? This is crazy that they're not putting him in. You beat Minnesota. So I did feel like at some point there was always going to be, anything short of MLS Cup was always going to have some sort of commentary attached to it, which was, how could you not be playing this person? And listen, like I understand the affection people have for him, whether that's 2018 people have known him longer than they've known SDFC, right? Yeah. So like I get it, but I did feel like there was certainly like a chorus of like, I'm going to wait until I'm going to keep being critical of this, even in spite of the success that the team is having, because then the second it doesn't, I'm going to be proven right. Right. You know what I mean? Like, so there was just always that sort of sense. And, it comes with the territory. This is why you sign up. If you don't have broad shoulders, you don't become a head coach. You don't become a sporting director. But, you have to live with those decisions. And I did notice that. And I think you guys probably did as well. Every time the starting 11, how could this be? What are our priorities? Like our priorities, and I don't think that their priorities ever changed at all. I don't think their priorities were never not about winning and advancing. But it was, we feel like this is the best way for us to win and to advance. That's debatable for a lot of people who would rather see Chucky Lozano play. I understand that. But, there was a lot of, it cannot be that bad that we are putting our season at risk. And then like, okay, well, now we've won. And now we've won again. Now we've got out of it. Now we've gotten through. Now we're in the Western and like, and like at some point, like, like long enough timeline, you're probably going to be proven right because only one team wins this. And, I don't know. They seem like they did have a lot of success without him, but I think it just put people. I think that's the unfortunate part about the whole situation. It just put people in a position of like, just saying like that they feel a little bit torn about how the decisions are being made. And again, they understood that. I don't think that they didn't anticipate that wasn't going to be part of the conversation when they made the decisions that they did last year, and certainly the decision that they're making heading into this year.
I do give props to all the other players, right? Because they're being true professionals. Because I personally would be upset if somebody that's on a PAL, paid administrative leave, right, is making more money than me. And I mean, I think they're for sure like props to everyone else. I do wonder what that contract extension looked like for Anders Dreyer once MLS releases like the player salaries and all that. I wonder if he kind of asked, okay, I'll stay, but I gotta be the best paid player now, like rightfully so, right?
He was the only one that said you never know if like in football, like we were talking about after that end of season interview session. Chucky came out and was like, "Oh, I'm contracted with you guys. I'm here to stay." And he was just told otherwise. Like literally walked out of the interview knowing that he's not included in the footballing plans moving forward. And Honor's the only one that's like, well, never know football. Like anything can happen. It can be swept up. And maybe that was some games and shit on his part, but I think he's just genuine in his way of just being and talking Honors. But through this whole process, Mikey and Tyler are the ones that are being vindicated over and over again. And at some point, people have to just look at the reality of that and say, look, did Chucky get him to this point? No, it was a 35-year-old Pellegrino. Chucky was the one that was subbed out for him. Just if you want to just take that situation and through that microcosm of Houston, halftime, Chucky was there. He did not score. Comes out at half. Pellegrino comes in, immediately makes an impact, gets a penalty called for his team, and later on he scores. Like
4-0 second half. I mean, I don't like doing like the dumping on Chucky Lozano thing because I promoted it as much as anybody.
Yeah.
Like it was an exciting night. Like it was an exciting time. I don't like doing it was only 7 goals in open play.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, how many multi-goal games did he have?
Yeah.
It was only 1. Like Pellegrino had 2. I mean, I know I'm saying I'm doing the thing that I didn't want to do, but like, I don't like doing that. I think the overall experience was positive, that it was a positive.
Chucky Lozano was great.
Yeah. I mean, listen, like, there are many pictures that, like players that my wife's like, oh, I want to take a, and like, she's one of them, and again, like there was a lot of fun, like, and it was a lot of good stuff, but if the team has decided that, they truly believe that this is in the best interest, and listen, I don't think it's like I probably should not talk as much, but I don't think just my own sense here is that it's it doesn't make any sense to put yourself out there where you might have to pay somebody, if you think it's just a club that's trying to be cheap or whatever. Like, that doesn't make any sense either. Like they're all like, they're putting this out there that they are willing to move on. And it seems like, they're smart people. I don't think that they would have just cut off their own leverage just for the sake of doing so because they're amateurs or just because they're second years into. So, I think that that's just the way they feel about the situation. And, that's just the reality of it. And you move forward, and certainly it seems like the players who are the most important part of this seems like the players have, to Abe's point, and that matters more than anything else.
Yeah. With your behind the flow access, was there any sort of mention of this? Is that something that gets talked into or nothing that, no?
I'd learned about it the same way everybody else did. Truly. Like, like, wait, what happened? like in Houston, like I thought, we said during the broadcast, I remember at halftime when he came off, Adrian and I talking about it. And I think I said something like, well, I think he's on a yellow, like he's 1 yellow card away from a suspension and you want to save him obviously for next week with Portland. So I was totally in the dark about it, and some of that is willful. Like, I don't like asking things, if I'm going to, be put in positions to be under the bright lights here where I'm going to get grilled about this stuff. Sometimes I'd rather not know, but I truly have just heard everything that everybody else had.
And I mean, order of operation too, right? Chucky, then Tyler, then Mikey. And, you play the hand that you were dealt with. They played it as best as they could. Now they have the reins. Now they have the control. And they chose to maybe find those 20 plus goal contributions elsewhere for cheaper. That's what San Diego Wave did for Kalen Sheridan, the goalkeeper. Oh, we're just going to find somebody younger and cheaper.
But do you think that's what it is, though? Do you think it's just a financial decision? You're like, I don't.
No, I mean, it's a culture decision for sure.
Yeah,
it wasn't a fit.
I think they're doing everything really just not the way the world does it, because you have a player that's your highest paid, your best, quote unquote, best player, have an argument with the coach. You see the coach get sacked before the star player,
right?
Any other team,
like respectfully, it's Mikey Varas we're talking about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you didn't go and say like we're going to go spend. Yeah, like, and I'm a huge fan. Yeah, but you know, you didn't go out and say, hey, listen, we're going to make a huge statement with this coaching hire. We're going to go bring, Bruce Arena or whatever, Antonio Mohammed, whatever, it could be anybody. Like, that's not the decision that you made. Like, you made the decision, that you were going to invest in a big time star player with this pedigree and this history and this popularity. And I'm with you. I think if it came down to like, I don't know, which way is this, should we ride with him? It doesn't, it just doesn't feel that way. Like, honestly, it just doesn't feel that way to me at all.
Ultimately,
4-1.
So far.
That's another one for 70 minutes. Is like, well, listen, if they weren't so stubborn about this Lozano thing, it's like, and then if something happens tomorrow, it'll be the same, and it'll be the same thing against Luca. It'll be the same thing in Montreal. Like let's not, for a single second here, think that these guys, don't believe so much in what they're doing that they're willing to stick their necks out for this decision. I think that's a little bit of an underrated part of the story here. That Mikey and Tyler specifically, like, if this doesn't go well, nobody's blaming. You can say Amal Pellegrino, like, nobody's going to sit around going, it's not going to be that. It's, these guys believe that so much that they are, they are sticking their necks out for this decision. So what it is.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's still very early to even say if it was the right decision or not. I mean, so far again, I will always
So
say
far,
this.
yeah, incredible. Like, amazing. Like,
we
just-
will always say this, right? Like, nothing Mikey Varas and Tyler Heaps have done has given us a reason to say they're wrong. Like, even losing in the Western, like, you got to the Western Conference Final. Like, that's such an accomplishment.
Without a right back and or even left back at some point that couldn't go more than 45 minutes.
Against Vancouver,
Mm-hmm.
which had more wins during the regular season than you.
Yeah.
Right? Like, which was, brought Thomas Muller in. Like, it was, come on. Like,
And
there's no shame in losing that game.
And in soccer, there's games that I can concede to that there was a lot of luck involved in their victories, and you just saw luck run out in real time against Vancouver. You played a great team. The mistakes that the young players would usually make throughout the season are just in 20, 25 minutes intervals in one game, and that's what decides it. And at the end of the day, would they have beat Messi?
No.
I don't know.
Come on, Darren. No.
I mean, at full, like
yeah, 100 at.
Come on, Darren. No.
That December 15th.
That game was to be taken.
That's your gallo, dude. Messi.
That game was there for Vancouver. They had the goal. They missed an open shot. I mean, I don't know.
Hey, did they beat Messi?
No, it's Messi.
And they have 3 DPs now.
Somehow.
I just want to throw this out there, and I'm someone that always likes to get ahead of everything, but it's 4-1,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, I'm known to be a jinx. I'm not going to say anything, but
don't touch the money.
They go through. They play Toluca, back-to-back champions, the Yankees. Somehow, if they get past Toluca, they have a very good chance at making the final, because you would be playing in that or in that quarterfinal. What's even their name? I had it right here. MTP. What is that? Mount Pleasant. Who the fuck knows where they're from? Against, how did Galaxy do? Do we know how Galaxy did in the round 1? They haven't played. Oh, did they play?
The champions. I think they're waiting.
They're in a couple ways, but Galaxy would be like.
Hey man, Mount Pleasant is the top-ranked Jamaican football club that won the 2025 Concacaf Caribbean Cup. So
what about Sporting SM?
Okay, you're just making stuff up now.
So Galaxy goes against Mount Pleasant. Then you will more than likely play Galaxy, who you've already beat twice. And then you would go against Cruz Azul against LAFC, more than likely. LAFC beating Cruz Azul, who you've already beat before. I think the toughest one is Toluca.
Yeah, you're totally jinxing this team. It's crazy. I'm crazy right now.
I'm just talking about the possibilities of this tournament.
Yeah, they're there.
Like they're on the easier side.
But historically, though, how many times have you watched the Liga MX team just go on a scoring frenzy? Not even against MLS teams, just fellow Mexican Liga MX teams that are supposedly better than anything that MLS has to offer on a 2-leg setting in Mexico City. It's happened more often than not.
Yeah.
And this is how it happened. Next game starts, 1 goal in the first 10 minutes. Then you have 20-minute window to score that second one, 2-0. Now it's a game.
Right.
Now it's a game. And for Mikey Varas, who isn't necessarily known for being the most defensive, I'm going to park the bus. No. Like, you're still opening and being attacking. But if you're going to be stubborn, like you said you would, and play by the book, then it's going to dictate that the way that the 2 first goals went in is still a way that Pumas is going to get through. And over there, it's a lot more CONCACAF, it's dark arts happening in Mexico.
Dude, every time I hear Mikey Varas talk, and he says that this club in, obviously not soon, but in the next 10, 15, 20 years, they're going to be a giant in America and worldwide. I don't know about worldwide, but I think they have what it takes. It's been 1 year. But I can see it going where they are a dominant force in CONCACAF.
No, not
like
Seattle.
This is the year.
Could they be like a Seattle,
Yeah,
like a club that expects to win a trophy every year?
Like, look, whatever happens in the MLS season this year, whatever. If they make playoffs and they're on the first round, cool. But they have a chance to clear that up and make a statement in the Concacaf Champions. If they make it to that final and lose in that final, whatever, they still make a statement. First year, Western Conference Championship. You lost. It's the first year. Second year, Concacaf Champions Cup final. Damn, holy shit, who's this San Diego FC? You lost it, but they're making a statement.
Man.
You saw what the reaction was, right? From Mexican media. Like, I know it was mostly based on dumping on Pumas, but still, it's like, this SDFC, the SanDiego.Futbol Club, like,
without
your name in that
Chucky Lozano.
conversation, right? To have your name in that conversation, it's like, whoa, hey, what's going on around here?
I never thought Jose Ramon would be talking about San Diego FC or
Yeah,
about San,
that was
San
cool.
Diego.
Like, honestly, like I started looking,
That's my
researching
goat.
those for that stupid little clip because again, that's what makes me giggle. At the end of the day, it's
I mean, shit. Abe and I were like, holy shit, that's not big fight. That's on. We were into the Right to Dream Academy thing. We're like,
that's the guy.
he sat right in front of us. We're like, Abe, let's fight this one.
There is one team that's looking to maybe take that position of giant away from SDFC if it works out with LAFC's new partnership with Bayern Munich and their academy, because that's a thing. I mean, I think something's getting worked in and the attention's coming to Southern California.
Isn't there a Barcelona Academy around here?
Around here, yeah.
There is. I mean, so Las Vegas Lights is out for LAFC now. Bayern Munich taking over. God damn it, man.
Sir Harold Kane.
Dang.
Everybody wants a piece.
Yeah. I mean, it's happening. And
Look,
it's here.
MLS is gonna keep growing, man. And I mean, like, seeing those moves like that is, it's proving everything that people say, right? Like MLS keeps growing. Like, MLS was one of the top 10 leagues, most watched leagues in the world.
I
This
never
last
know
season.
how to process those lists.
I don't know, but I choose to believe it. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
We're a part of that now.
Yeah.
Like 2 years ago, we never talked MLS.
Honestly,
I never watched MLS there, and I'll be
Didn't
honest. I mean,
care
I don't
for
think you're
MLS.
surprised. Like,
No.
last season was the first time I ever watched
with
MLS.
You. Listen, it was like a crash course for me learning like rosters and like
Same
who's
with the
on this
USL.
team.
When did you
Yeah.
watch USL before Loyal?
No. I mean, I only knew about Sacramento Republic and FC Cincinnati, especially when Cincinnati went on that run in the Open Cup. And just because of the old unnamed soccer podcast, we had a couple of people, one of whom was in Sacramento, one of whom was in Cincinnati. So they were sort of our USL supporter or reporters, so to speak. So, I mean, I'm very, very surface level, but same thing with MLS. I mean, I haven't spent a ton of time. I tried to get up to speed on it when it was the whole Soccer City thing, just because you figured it was part of our future. And then the same thing with this go around here. But no, like, I want to thank Joe Lowry from backheeled.com because without him, like, I would have been dead in the broadcast last year. There was a crash course every single week trying to learn these rosters, these players, their stories, who they are, what they're all about, etc.
There is a lot of good info when it comes to soccer databases for MLS. So that's what I'll give the American soccer product. There's a lot of good things. Even the way Apple TV presents the game, I'm not mad at it. I can listen to you and watch the game.
I think it's, the recaps are like hella helpful too. Like if you're like, hey, let me just go and see like what they were like when they were away, or
MLS 360, right? Like where they're talking about every single team on Apple TV. I was like, I'm waiting for freaking T-Mobile to drop the MLS season pass again, because if they don't, I sure hope SDFC's like, hey, media, here's a free link to like purchase the games, because there's no way in hell I'm paying $100 for the season. Like,
isn't it free though with Apple? Didn't they change the
there is some, you don't have to get the season pass.
No more season pass, right? It's just part of Apple TV.
Yeah, if you just have the subscription to Apple TV Plus, then you get the full season.
Motherfucker, that's how they get you, dude.
No. Pinches culeros.
You can watch
like
Shrinking.
February 5th, I got the $99 subcharge for February 6th, and I was like, no. And I went in and canceled it. So no, just be careful out there, guys.
That's your fault, though. I told you and Abe like December, November, cancel that already. I got mine and I canceled mine in March. I was like, you're not gonna get me. You're not gonna get me, man.
These streaming services are getting kind of crazy. Like the whole MLB thing next year, I'm getting confused by that. Like because you have to have ESPN Unlimited and then MLB. It's all confusing. Right
hey, don't get these guys started.
Somebody complaining.
MLB.
No, okay, I'll bring it back.
Oh.
Is somebody who's complaining about MLB that covers NWSL and what channels to find it on is very interesting.
Oh, that's horrible too. Don't get me wrong.
You know what Victory Plus is?
Victory Plus? I probably pay for it. Honestly, there's probably something on there I wanted to watch. I found my VIX Plus subscription the other day. I was like, damn.
You still pay for it?
Still pay? Yeah. Why? Is there a better way?
No, $7.99.
That's like $5.99.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of clutch. You know, you got all the novelas.
Dude, you could have.
I went to Colombia and I was like, oh, I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna watch Atlético Nacional. That's gonna be my new thing. VIX Plus. Here you go. Like I watched like 5 times.
Yeah.
Cheers.
I'm so glad that Chivas, at least for the home games, it's Peacock because my sister pays for it, and you know, kind of clutch. You have access to it, by the way, because it's the same account. So,
sick, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Speaking of Cincinnati, you mentioned Cincinnati, right? I wanted to bring up these Cincinnati-esque uniforms, kits, however you want to say it, in an unprecedented night of unity.
I love that Luca's got it right over his collared shirt, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
What it cracks me up.
Courtesy of terrible SDFC memes. Shout out Brandon. So I don't know because I got conflicting embargoes, so I don't know what I can talk about. Darren, what can you talk about this event?
I don't know. I don't know anything what I'm supposed to talk about. I'm worried that I'm gonna get myself in trouble here. But you're showing video, and this looks familiar.
Yeah, just watching from the outside, I will say like a lot of people are complaining about it. It seemed pretty cool, like a cool event, like just getting to see different styles and stuff. SanDiego has been pretty good with that, just like introducing something where you think it's pretty like basic colors, but they really do it up. Anytime you go into their store, it always looks like pretty cool merch. I always see it out there too. I saw it this weekend a lot. And then I think the new kits, I would call them an upgrade to last year's away kits, but still not the greatest. But I mean, still, at least it's got some color now, right?
Yeah. But design, like, I don't know.
I'm looking forward to the explainer. I feel like there's got to be.
Have you read the leaked explainer?
No, I have not.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Yeah, I'm surprisingly in the dark for somebody who like technically is on their payroll. I mean, some of that is willful, but I'm with Abe on that. I thought it was an upgrade. I'm not much of a jersey wearing person at this stage of my life, but yeah, like I'd put that that's definitely got a spot in my closet.
Also, you like it?
I do like it.
Okay.
All right. Well, we did this a little bit the other day.
And by the way, I think it looks like based on the pictures, if this is accurate, with the blue shorts too, like that's
had it been a sleek white with that blue, I would have liked it better because for me, it's very training kitty. Like I could see this as a training kit. Some of their best kits were actually training kits last season. But essentially it's this unifying essence of the Tijuana, SanDiego region that comes together, and with the 2026 community, the jersey is just kind of celebrating the fact that the World Cup is coming here, and this jersey represents that.
Yeah, I mean, I would just say this again. I know I come across like a company man here. If I didn't like it, I would just keep my mouth shut.
That's fair.
I really would.
Yeah, that's fair.
And there's probably been times in the past where I've kept my mouth shut about things, and that's the answer on other things that have happened. So this is one. If I'm saying it, I'm not just saying it because I don't get a cut of a percentage of the sales. But like I'm with Abe. Like I think that it is an upgrade, and I think it's it's got something to it. I like it.
My thing, right? It's a community kid, and they talk about no borders, no passport, and all that. And I kind of mentioned there a little bit before we went live. And there was an incident that happened on Tuesday at the game where security were trying to kick out a lot of supporters from Frontera SanDiego for wearing an Buck Ice t-shirts based off one of their members getting detained by ICE and that. And I understand if it's Snapdragon policy and SanDiego's state policy where you can't wear political like propaganda or attire or anything like that. But I do hope SanDiego FC, based off what the message is with this kit, where the game is for everybody, there's no passport, there's no borders, anything like that. I hope they have a conversation with SanDiego State on what fans, at least for the SanDiego FC games, are allowed to wear, or if they would get kicked out for wearing specific clothing or attire, because if you don't, then this kid means nothing. And I would hope that they take that step in having that kind of like policy withdrawn. I don't think San Diego State would do that anyways, but I would hope San Diego FC does everything in their power to start that conversation with them and walk that walk, especially with everything going on in America right now.
I mean, it's on them, and if they don't, well, we'll see. But the people have already clearly said what they want, not just about the kit, but about everything going on, especially with that. We brought light to it with the GoFundMe last time. I did see that our buddy Andrew Vasiliadis also kind of gave a generous donation to that. So I'm glad.
Very generous.
That is something that was given attention to, and the supporter groups are representing. Just, I mean, we posted the picture, and just if you really want to see what the eye of the hurricane is like, go to the comment section of those posts. If you really want to see how what the pulse is on either side. So we'll see what the kid is going to be. It does look better in person. I'll concede to that.
Always. And I always think like, the initial online reaction for the most part with anything usually is pretty negative.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Like, the Padres, don't they have their
City Connects?
City Connects, new City Connects are coming out this year.
Yeah, they are.
I'm sure it'll get blasted
unless
right
it's
out of the gate. But the last ones did too, and that was an acquired taste for a lot of people. Some people liked it, some people did not. I don't know how you guys felt.
Unless it's the copy and just the exact 1998 jersey, I think nobody's going to be happy. It has to be the exact one.
Yeah, I mean, for as much as the original Azul kit, right? I mean, seems like it's pretty popular. I see it in a lot of places. So I don't know. I'm just sometimes I'm a little. I've learned to take all the online reaction with a pinch of salt for sure.
Look, I've sat here and told Andrew Vasiliadis back in the loyal days that I don't care what uniforms look like as long as the team is performing and playing great, and that's still who I am.
If you score goals, they look amazing.
Yeah, like if they're playing good, that's all that matters. And I'm not a kit guy. Like I don't care what they're wearing. My opinion on it, I think it's cool. I hate the messaging behind everything. It's uniform. Like, dude, like Liga MX teams drop a home and away kit every other season, and I mean, it's gonna get blasted with advertisement. I love the Adriana's insurance on it. Like that's
you're the only one I've ever heard say that.
That's such a San Diego thing. Like you always see it all the time.
She's from Los Angeles.
See it on the freeway, right? You see it on.
She's from LA.
So it's everything. Like that's
you are too.
Out of San Diego.
By the way, real quick, like totally changing subject, but why did Cholos go away from Charlie? They got Reebok now.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure the answer is money.
Yeah.
But
for sure.
But like I don't know.
Reebok is dope, man. Chivas voted Reebok, and those kids were phenomenal.
They were good.
They had the Bimbo back in the day. Like man, Reebok. Don't hate on Reebok.
It's a more global brand.
No, I'm impressed. They're still around all these years later.
Yeah,
I did lost track of them.
What those Marcus and Barkston were Skechers.
I honestly blame those Skechers for his injury.
Like white dudes over 30, like Skechers are a thing for us. Leave us alone.
You know what? After going to Costco and seeing some of those products out there, I can't hate on that actually.
Yeah, Reebok. I mean, I saw like Tijuana wearing the Reeboks. I was like, what? I thought Charlie kits were so dope.
Yeah, Charlie's dope. Like, I mean, shout out to the USO Championship for also the teams having Charlie now.
Oh yeah, that's
shout out to Loyal for starting that. Like,
yeah, a big deal.
Yes, like those kits are sick. Man.
I was still waiting for the promised U.S. flag on the collar of the American Chad League because I remember that was a huge selling point for them originally. They're like, these are going to have all the Mexican teams have the little Mexican flag on the back, but these are going to have a U.S. flag. I was like, oh,
that's cool. A part owner of Oakland Roots. I'm very proud of their kits,
Are you really?
Of course I bought a piece, man. Come on.
Did you really?
Oh, like $1, I think, or $5.
Okay. What's it worth now?
No idea, man. Like it's somewhere in the email.
That's the way.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, like before I knew, I thought, before I realized that MLS, that everything was Adidas, and I'm Adidas, but I was like, that'd be cool if it's, if they got Charlie, like, because we all saw what happened. Like those Charlies were banging.
Oh, 100%.
They
Even if they
nobody
cut off our...
when Loyal switched to Charlie, nobody really made fun of those kids. And then another team that always delivers on kids is the Soccers. The Soccers, they always have dope kids.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Shout out Flight.
They had like the Padres kids in their last match you were showing, like 1984 Padres, dude, looked kind of crazy, and they're like the yellow socks, like that was sick.
Do you think an MLB team would eventually? Is it all Nike, or do they get like?
They're all Nike. Yeah. I forgot that leagues are sort of just like, hey, we all have the same athletic apparel company. I thought you can kind of pick and choose because we were USL and Liga MX, like the way it works here.
Charlie is actually the one that's supplying. Supply. Just a freeze frame. Unfortunate freeze frame of an injury.
I don't like Puma kids. I hate that Chivas are Puma, but
Charlie does the U.S. The Mexican Olympic team. Like they just released all their swag, and that's going to be coming up.
Charlie,
yeah, for Mexico.
Wow. What a success story.
It used to be Atletico.
Yeah.
When back in 2012, when Mexico won the gold medal, Oribe Peralta, hermoso. It was Atletico, and those kids were nice too.
Yeah, these are the San Diego Soccer's 84 kits. Share it so everybody can watch. I'll drive you to a Soccer's game, Darren. I leave from here too.
What time do you have to leave?
Hey, you get to take a nap. You get to take a nap on the way there.
I have yet to go to Front Wave.
You've never been? That makes two of us.
Yeah.
3.
All right. Well, yeah.
That's their fault, man. Fucking Oceanside.
It is.
It's
it is
far. You forget, especially down here, how far it
is. It's incredibly far. Like
I took the train up to where was I? I don't know, somewhere up north of LA. And like it takes you're like, oh, just an Oceanside? Like, I've been on this train for like an hour.
Yeah.
Like, geez.
That's a fucking train.
Fucking hell, man. Right, you're not like sitting through the traffic.
Well, San Diego FC will play tomorrow, 5 p.m. kick, which is 8 p.m. the AFA time, which makes sense. So we'll have a post-match with the Chromaniacs, Craig and Alex, not in stadium, just probably here. And I think there's definitely a probability speaking, really good chance for San Diego FC to move forward. Is there any scenario in your guys' mind? Obviously, there's scenarios, but San Diego, do they lose the plot?
No.
I just think there's no way they're going to be kept off, that they're not going to score.
No, that Karaski, yeah. I think that's their anchor being Pumas.
Yeah.
And if you get one, then that means, depending on the math, like they got to get
5.
So like,
the good old, like the quick math, because Liga MX
it's such a
like
it's
that,
such a dumb rule. I cannot stand.
I like it.
No, you like it right now. Trust me, you like it right now.
I mean,
and he's a Barcelona
you live
fan.
by it, you die by it. Listen, like Liverpool killed us, but still.
Glory, Man United. We're back, baby.
Barcelona and Iniesta and Chelsea and that
great video.
It was a disgrace.
Yeah,
it was a beautiful goal. It was a beautiful game, but not that way.
Yep,
to take Mikhail Balak's only Champions League chance away.
Loved it. By the way, have you guys heard about the Barcelona Real Madrid Legends match up at BMO Stadium on February 22nd?
I have not. That's actually something I would
chance to see
love
Ronaldinho.
To yes,
I've seen him live.
I'll give you
Barcelona.
I'll give you the exclusive here.
Ooh, I love that.
Click the breaking.
Got hired to. We'll be on the radio call for that.
Oh wow,
sick.
Heck yeah.
When is that game again?
The day after the 22nd, I think it is. It's a Sunday at 2 p.m. right after the Montreal match. So that's the 21st.
Nice.
So it's either like 21, 22, or 20, whatever the day
SDFC
after.
play on the 21st.
Right. So it's the Sunday after.
Nice.
Yeah, should be fun. KFI in Los Angeles and the iHeartRadio app.
You've seen Ronaldinho live, right?
Copa Libertadores.
So it was after. You never signed with Barca?
No.
My
first time in Barca was 2010.
I saw Dino with Barca against Chivas at the Coliseum. My first ever soccer game.
Is that when Marco Fabian was sober?
No. That's way after. This is Rafa Marquez scoring on Chivas and Diego Martinez tying it. Like that was 2006
at the Coliseum, Los Angeles.
Yep. 2006. Ronaldinho arrived at halftime.
Shoes untied.
Shoes untied. Everything. I've never seen so many flashes. Coliseum fits what, like 100,000. Like it was insane.
I miss flashes.
2006. I was 9 years old watching Ronaldinho play against Chivas.
Yeah, I've been watching some of the highlights. Like, it's definitely, the Legends game. There's a lot of like offside. What?
Yeah.
I mean, Chivas America keep doing legend game matches, and
those just divulge into fist fights.
Yeah, it's all these fatsos playing. Like,
right.
So how are you gonna?
There's a little bit of skill.
I mean, you're gonna keep your composure, Abe. Sorry.
Yeah, real quick. LA Olympics. Wait, actually, that's a more interesting question though. How do you keep your composure when Barca's like your team? That's a big deal.
Yeah, it's I'm a journalist, Abe.
Gotcha. Back to you.
I don't know if you knew that, Abe.
No, I knew.
I said full disclosure. I'm a Barca fan. They're like, good. Like, add a little bit of color to this.
Heck yeah.
Like, bring up some. If you know anything about it, talk to us.
So is Messi playing? He's a legend.
No. Well, what's interesting is they're playing the night before. So Inter Miami opens up at LAFC the previous night. So then there's the Legends match the next day.
So he might be in attendance.
Right.
He might play.
And depending how it goes, maybe you can take Luis Suarez and just be like, my guy, it's time. Like, you should be playing tomorrow, not today.
Just trying to figure, like, what's the roster for this? Like,
it's an interesting question, Tony.
Heck yeah.
Sounds like someone calling the game should know.
Some of these details have been a little hard to come by here. Here, do you want to see the roster from the most recent match that was played over the weekend?
So this was already played, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh. All right. Starting with Iker Casillas, Pepe. I'm just gonna go with
Pepe,
the big ones.
that guy. That'll be my toughest challenge of trying not to stay partial. Or impartial.
to just not bury him for being a dirty player, because he's gonna have dirty chances here too. Guti. All right. Guti.
Yeah.
Center midfield. Raul. Is that the Raul?
Yeah, Raul. Yeah.
Raul Bravo.
There's a Chelsea legend on this list.
Makelele. Okay. Makelele. Yeah. And for Barca, we have Puyol. Cool.
Two Ballon d'Or winners.
Oh, come on. Rivaldo, Ronaldinho. Okay. Excellent. You got the flair. You got the samba. Ooh, one of my underrated favorite players, Saviola. He was a great player.
Played for both.
Yeah.
Yep.
And look at that, Brendan and Esteban will be there.
Nolito, Fontas.
Roberto Carlos going to be there?
No.
Esteban Toscano has blocked the penalty from Roberto Carlos.
Yeah. I'm kind of jealous. But you know what? I stopped a shot with my teammate here, Darren from Shannon McMillan. Didn't score.
Undefeated.
Did you just
the World Cup winner, Shannon McMillan?
Hey, yes. Get the Soccers to do another one of those matches, and I'll drive up there. The farthest I've driven since my car accident has been Encinitas.
Okay,
and that was because of a work thing.
Okay, I'll drive you. I'm safe.
No, I've driven with you to LA. Like, I'm fine. Being on the passenger side.
Luis Figo will be there. Yep.
Ooh,
trader.
Biggest trader in history.
Playing for who?
You ever see that documentary?
Yes.
Yeah. Who's he gonna play for though?
Half and half.
He's going
to show up with one of those like half Charger, half Raider jerseys, half Barca, half
It's gonna be like that. Omni Life first game, Man U with Chicharito playing the half for both.
Well, that's actually incredibly fun, and
that should be fun.
The global game is coming. Like, the people are starting to do all these things in the States, and they've always kind of known that this is a place where they can make money out of this too, and sell out. Was it Milan, Real Madrid sold out 100,000 in was that the Michigan game? Maybe.
Yeah. The big house.
Yeah.
I mean, before we start closing, like Olympics in San Diego for soccer. That's great.
I'm down.
Like, imagine like Spain make the Olympics. You know, they have a very famous under 23 player that would probably make that roster. Your guy Lamine Yamal. I like the rules for soccer in the Olympics under 23 with 3 reinforcements. Like, I think that's super dope because you get to see a lot of these up and coming players.
Mhm.
I think the U.S. could potentially have a pretty solid roster. I think Mexico will have a solid roster as well, with a lot of players currently playing in Europe.
Do you have to release players for Olympics? You don't, right?
You don't, but for the most part, you do.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, on the women's side, I think that's going to be really interesting too. Like wave players could be in this thing. I mean, you got Dudinya, you have like Ludmila, you have Promeroni, Lorena Facer is playing for France now. Like there's real possibility that like players that we talk to on a consistent basis are going to be there. It's kind of crazy. That's all happening in San Diego. I think there's going to be like a good amount of games too. They haven't like officially said, but from like what I heard at the event, I think it's going to be like 3 or 4.
Yeah, the Fintas Carino is going to come back with France in Snapdragon Stadium. 2028.
I didn't realize that they did this in 84 and 96. That that LA and Atlanta. He's like, oh, it's the LA Olympics, but hey, well, you're going to Columbus.
The satellite. Yeah.
Good luck. Like you're.
Where were the last Olympics again?
In the U.S. or
no, like last 4 years, like 2 years ago.
That's a great question. I remember Athens 2004.
Was it
London? No.
I mean, I forgot where it was, but I know like for surfing they were playing in a whole like different side because like the waves and all that stuff.
Well, I think it was Paris.
Yeah,
Paris. There you
right,
go.
because you can't surf in the
and then
in the
river
poo-poo water.
right. But yeah, like 84, they had an equestrian down here, I guess.
Ooh, yeah, Delmar.
I guess.
I don't know. Down here?
Ben Higgins told me that. I don't know. Yeah, right on Saturn.
Yeah, right there.
Polo fields.
But yeah, I didn't realize they did that in 84 and 96 because I thought it was kind of awkward. I'm like, oh, you qualified for the Olympics. Good luck. You're off you go to Ohio. But I guess they do that. But the closer you get, I think it makes sense. Maybe you get some more important matches. Like Abe said, like maybe you're not going to get a final, but maybe we'll get the third place match.
Third place, semifinal. It means something.
Right.
I think all the semis and finals are like officially going to be at the Rose Bowl, or at least the finals for sure at the Rose Bowl. It's still really confusing.
I also saw that Switzerland is going to use San Diego as a base camp for the World Cup.
Yes,
that's pretty cool.
And then I'm not sure who's going to use Tijuana, but they're going to be a site for the World Cup too.
Really?
Where in Tijuana?
Y Cholos?
Caliente? Oh, that sucks for them.
On turf?
That's crazy.
I think they were slated to be that. If not,
Just has SDFC for their facility.
the U.S. Women's National Team did.
Of course they do.
Because it's a state-of-the-art facility. Are you planning to go to World Cup?
Yes.
Ooh.
Although I just got my official denial from the email. So not for press credentials, but for tickets.
Mm-hmm.
So now I got to hit up the secondary market.
Got denied twice.
You got the same? Me too.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I mean, I got denied for media at first too. So fucking FIFA's on to me.
You guys you're off you go. Yeah, I thought I was off to Guadalajara to go watch Spain and Uruguay.
Ooh.
But now I have to come up with a alternate plan.
Well, what San Diego FC needs to do, and you need to get into Tyler's ear about getting an Uruguayan player into San Diego FC, because what we're planning is to go to that third game for Mexico. And if everything goes right, which probably Honors Dreyer plays against Mexico in that third game.
If you get playing time, but I mean,
I'm also waiting. Speaking of unders, they also could have to go through Dublin to play Ireland.
Oh, yeah.
And depending on where Ireland ends up would probably be my destination, because Ireland also is slotted for Monterrey.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably what I'm waiting for at this point, just to see how that's all going to shake out.
Had a wonderful World Cup run in '94. One of
Yes.
the best games, Ireland.
Oh yeah, wasn't born yet. Sorry.
Jeez.
Still
I mean,
happens.
I was too, but I still know it.
It still happens.
Come on now.
Mhm.
All right. Is there anything else for San Diego FC or just in general, Darren?
I like that it's a 5
p.m.
p.m. game.
Me too.
We're not gonna be done at 10 p.m.
Yeah.
watching a game.
10 p.m. and then post match.
I'm curious to know, like, are they expecting like a lot of people there? Because sometimes these like early round CONCACAF, there's like 8,000 people in the stands.
The number that I have as of about an hour ago is 178 of Frontera.
Oh no! I heard
he meant Pumas.
No, I meant like total.
Like stadium.
I heard it was
total.
300 Frontera.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I like that.
No,
I'm down with
I mean I can see some people going. It's a Tuesday, 7 p.m. for them.
Or they're just like, yeah, maybe we'll save our money for Toluca.
Right. Like, do I want to go, if we can't get through this, is this worth, right? Like,
yeah, I meant Pumas fans. Like, I live in Mexico that support Pumas. Like, there'll be some people, but
what would you think though? Like 10,000? Like, do you think it's going to be like this really intimidating atmosphere?
Maybe a little bit more, maybe 15.
Even if it's intimidating,
you can look up how did they do last year in this round, because they went up and they lost their opening match. I think they lost to like Forge FC in Canada. Like, what? But then they came back home and they ended up winning the tie. So I'd love to know how many people they had show up in Olympic Stadium.
The thing about Olympic Stadium is that even if you have a packed house, you're still miles away from the actual field because of the track.
Olympic Stadium, right?
And Champions Cup. Come on, internet, don't fail me now. Here.
Because I saw a couple of these, it's like 8,000. Like, are they inspired to go out and support?
And that's the thing about this tournament, right? Like, how big is it to the Mexican audience?
Right.
Like, is it
especially this round?
Yeah, because
this isn't like Vancouver Cruz Azul. Like, this is
because you could say too, like, League Cup leaves a really bad taste in people's mouth for international MLS versus SDFC versus the Yankees play.
Go to round one.
You're trying to see their score line, or
no,
like how far they made it?
How many people last year went to watch Pumas early?
Okay, let's find Pumas. Okay, so this would have been here.
Okay, so round one. You can scroll down; it'll show you the actual.
So this was in Cavalry.
Look at that! Look at the attendance.
Boom.
8,000.
8,778.
Yeah, man. Hardworking people from Mexico need to play.
Now again, that's for Forge, something called Cavalry. Sorry, Cavalry FC. I don't feel like I'm pronouncing that right.
I mean,
Cavalry.
To be fair, I think anyone living in Mexico see San Diego FC. If Chucky was there, I can guarantee you more people would be there.
This is the strategy. This is why Chucky's actually out. Like, they just want a decreased home field advantage for 3D chess, everybody.
Yeah, 100%. It was all about the marketing. It was all about it. Just
they're like, yeah, after
these guys aren't coming out for a Mal Pellegrino.
After Toluca, Chucky can come back.
Right.
Also, buscar boletos. Let's see. So,
yeah, I mean, if that's if history repeats itself, and let's say it's even a little bit more, let's say it's 10,000. Like, I don't know, does that represent an intimidating environment?
243 pesos. Damn, that's hella cheap.
1,000 pesos for two, and
what is that, like $40 a piece?
Or two? No, for two.
Yeah, I don't know. Conversion $17. I should know this. I have Century now.
It's low. Oh, you do? Congrats,
dude.
$58.
Now I will cross with you.
Yes.
Like never before.
$58.
Now I'm a trusted
as somebody who's
citizen.
been left by people with Century, like now I understand it.
Oh yeah, it's the classic. Oh, you walk, we'll meet you on the other side.
Good. Or I'll call you an Uber. Yeah, but dude, that's crazy, right? Like last year they got 9,000 for this round for the return leg. I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens.
Hey, Western Conference champions. Maybe that's a draw.
Are you guys excited to see James Rodriguez come to Snapdragon Stadium with Minnesota?
A little bit.
You're cool. I mean, you're excited for Keylor Navas. Now you get James coming to San Diego.
A little bit.
That's freaking sick.
Yeah, I saw him in the 2016 Copa America up in San Francisco or Santa Clara or whatever.
Like that. I mean, it's moves like that just
it makes it interesting. As much as I like, kind of want to roll my eyes with. It's not a Guignac.
I mean, you always ask, like, what's the next biggest name that's gonna come, right? Like, I mean,
Thomas Miller's pretty big.
Well, Werner's pretty freaking big.
Timo Werner, yeah.
Like, but the states that he's in, like, he's not done.
I know he didn't just a Champions League winner that beat the Manchester City team of the 2020s. I don't know. He made it happen.
Yeah, are they gonna
Kai Havertz?
Are they gonna hang
He's
on to
29 years
Thomas?
old.
Who?
Timo Werner.
He's what?
29 years old.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I'm sorry, but this guy might tear that shit up. The MLS
Under
this year.
Bruce Arena, dude, heck yeah.
A very attacking team last season.
Yeah, but they let all their attacking players go.
Yeah, I mean, they also
four of them
couldn't stop anybody.
One of them to Cholos.
Yeah, Joseph Martinez.
I thought wasn't James linked to
San Jose?
Cholos for a while?
Oh, Cholos? Yeah.
Doesn't want to play in turf though.
Oh.
That's the reason a lot of players don't go to Cholos.
He'd rather play in 5-degree weather.
He just doesn't like
for a team that like sells in the middle of a playoff push.
Doesn't like wearing red cleats, which is. Do you have any thoughts on that?
No.
That fact that Hankron forces his players to only wear red cleats.
I do not.
That's a thing.
Well,
you didn't know that?
I don't think I did.
Yeah,
no.
He
Like,
requires-
whenever you go to a Cholos game, all the players wear red cleats. They have to.
Has that always been?
Yes.
I did not know that.
And like the whole thing about his like obsession with the number 3.
Yeah.
That I've heard.
Has a zoo in his house.
Hey man, I'm net positive at that casino. So
Yeah, you are. All right. Anything else for today?
Oh.
Thank you, Darren. Once again, Abe. What about you? You're over there.
We're all good.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Coachella this weekend. I got my coverage. It's going to be a lot of NWSL games. But I'm expecting to be a lot of fun. It's really nice there.
yeah, Coachella Valley Invitational has
you're
started
going up to Coachella this weekend, right? Or no? Next one.
next week.
What teams are out there?
15th. There's going to be a lot of MLS teams on the 14th. I think like Portland,
Denver.
Seattle. I didn't.
Seattle?
All that.
Wasn't Seattle just in Portugal?
What? Okay, maybe not
Oh,
Seattle.
they were in Spain.
Yeah, so probably not Seattle then. But I know Portland's going to be there for sure. I got to look at the MLS teams. Hold on.
Oh,
Yeah, and,
San Jose.
This weekend we got Kansas City, Houston, Bay FC, Portland, Angel City, Utah, Denver.
Bahamas will be up there.
He's like, "Where's the festival?" No, it's it. I mean, San Diego would have been here, and these are the teams that they faced last time, and they could have faced New York in the final potentially had that happened. Portland, they faced that's the team that they faced the most in their history. Like,
do you remember the results of those first couple of Coachella Valley? We're like, this team, wow,
yeah, 3-1 against New York.
I don't know. I just don't see it.
This guy Negri is not moving the needle for me, man.
I'm not sure they got it. Seems like kind of a mess.
Well, Darren, is there anything that we can expect from you? Anything to look out? Anything to?
There's lots of things. Follow on the normal ways. I'll be back annoying everybody soon enough.
Well, you can annoy us here anytime, man.
Yeah,
this is like I said.
It's not cold, by the way. I never really got colds.
Yeah, Tony.
You're the one that's wearing the jacket. I'm the one that's well insulated.
It's a bomber jacket. It's
Abe
not to keep me warm.
Is shivers here? Like,
It's to hide the lonjas, dude. Like,
yeah. I like that you looked at it. Like you try to look for it. All right, guys. Check out our GoFund Us to get us to the World Cup. That's still a thing. Boom, boom. Be a friend, tell a friend. Let us know. Get us to the World Cup. We'll be there. And
by the way, stickers of that same logo will be coming very, very soon. Picking them up tomorrow, actually. So hit me up for some of those. Those are going to be sick. Anyone that's donated, expect some of those stickers going your way as well.
And if you didn't, you can expect them too.
Yeah,
It's
for
okay.
sure. About a couple.
All right, Abe, have fun out there, and we'll see everybody later. Have a good one.